Oh goodness, we are getting full.
I know, I think. Golly, brought that.
Yeah, I didn't see your coming here.
He's gonna show you Miss Melinda. This is y'all stuff for the conference.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I
this
just.
is just y'all's instructions on how to set it up. So
So
like confirmation number. Sam sounds where y'all are staying because the Hilton Convention Center, they said that before they even have the blocks open, if it didn't start.
Okay, that's fine.
I said, well, how did they do that? She said, well, the block is reserved for like a discount price, so I said, $90 a night. She said, when the block wasn't open yet, they just paid the normal price. And I said, well, can I do that? Like, we'll pay a little bit more. She was like, no, I can completely sold out. I was like, it just, anyhow, but Sam sounds always a restaurant. I know. So,
Well, I mean.
yeah. So that's just your information there.
I'll just text you the.
This is what you'll need to sign right here and give to the front desk whenever you check in. You won't pay for anything for the hotel because we're prepaying. But in order to get tax exempt, you have to give them a tax exempt form. Forget it or something, no big deal. It's not a big deal. That's just y'all's tentative program they sent out the other day. You are registered for that for the third session, you and Maria. So, yeah. I just put on here, like that's an agenda for the conference, and, whenever you check out, get a receipt, and bring it back with your agenda. And once you come back, just bring it to me one day, and I have 2 forms that Carla has to get you to sign, and she'll pay you, for like We can check in Saturday because it can't be that close. Well, I wouldn't make it for Saturday. Now, if you want to check in for Saturday, on Saturday, Sunday's when it starts, right? At like 9 a.m. So you and her are the only ones going to that. She hasn't said if she's going down Saturday or not, so I don't know. Maybe I'll book Sunday. I don't know the policy about if they'll reimburse, which I mean, I'm sure they'll reimburse or not, but I don't know.
That was too tight.
So many hours away.
I might find a good mask, that was too tight.
To go the night before. They may. Yeah. And now,
Hey, Mr. King, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good.
I can check it
Oh,
on, but.
Hello.
Hey.
Good, how are y'all?
I got another one in the pocket still. I'm just trying to find a mask I can actually wear. That was too tight.
This
You
one
say Jeff had some
feels
somewhere?
good,
Let me try one.
but it's hot.
I'm not used to wearing them. So.
Well, I'm glad I don't have to wear them when I'm in my office and I'm by myself.
Keep this in my pocket so it ain't really clean. Just in case I have to go in somewhere. That's helping. I gotta wear 'em.
If you need a disposable one, I think Jeff's got some.
Yeah, he wants to get one.
Okay, okay.
Is it on here?
We'll try that, see if it's any better.
Or,
First one, maybe?
okay,
We haven't been down to 1 month in sales tax.
Yeah.
We've been,
And so then y'all's.
we're up 23% in January,
Isn't that great?
December sales. Yeah, I guess so.
But I'm sure registration, it doesn't say. Anyway, but whenever you go, they'll have a registration fee, and I'll figure it out. I think from what I've heard,
It's like I have to taste rabbits all day. You know, I'm just sitting down for the first time and looking at this. Sometimes it makes me feel like I'm coming here unprepared. It's like, really, you're just
I got a funny
get through
something.
one thing to you bring it the next.
I got something funny to tell you from the bowling the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Got Carrie.
Yeah.
If you need anything, when it comes time, just call me.
Carrie next to, over at Francis.
The way we're going, we'll be, you know, we'll be. The way we're going, we'll end up being over 200,000 to the plus down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
No,
know,
she told me, the kids were telling her that. Yeah, she told me, she told me.
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
I know. You're right. And I think about what he said.
always said
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
He was aggravated.
But his aggravated me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that guy was out for somebody.
I'm telling you.
yeah, well, I think
I don't know about the first one, I don't know what he said, but the second one he didn't deserve.
Well, first one, I mean,
He might have.
yeah. I don't do makeup.
How about you?
I tell you what, Jesse does down the road. She said, running down the road.
Reason to be mad.
Every day, couple times a day, sometimes.
she is.
He must be going pretty good now. Told him. So
I
he's
hadn't
prepared
been
for
back
big
in
time.
like a month.
Absolutely. But he
for 3 days a week now.
Right.
So when he.
I went to 2, and I went to 1, then I did every 2 weeks, so
Yeah,
You know,
I'm hoping
but it
I'll-
was.
it was.
every now and then I'll think,
I tell you what, them Thursdays up there, man, the last 2 weeks, they be packed.
Really?
Dig around back
What
there.
I forgot I ain't got one of them.
Sunday down here,
Alright,
man.
what's the proper way to wear this, white out or blue out?
Go blue out. And the
shoulder.
folds go down.
There they are, right there.
There should be a piece that like bend, that's your nose thing, so that goes on top.
It's on top.
I'm going, but long as I stay acting pretty good.
yeah.
These are not quite as tight.
But I'm not going back
Tight.
on that knife again unless I really got to.
You don't want the nose piece.
No, it's fine.
Trying to stay away from.
This is
No
okay,
one
Mike.
told me, he said, look,
I think I'll make it.
because you got rheumatoid arthritis, and all this stuff. It ain't much. You just wasting your time. So you gotta come right back.
Right.
There's a lady up there, Miss Diane, a pal.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that lady's something else. She got one of the better attitudes I've ever seen in my life. She don't let nothing upset her. Man. I may as well do it, I ain't like nothing else, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, a young guy, I forget his name. I have to be careful when I talk to him. He gets dejected because I said, look, you just gonna have to be patient and take your time. And he evidently bad shape, his knees, his back. You know what I'm talking about? He just graduated from Tech last year. He told me his name, but I forgot it. And the little girl that got her knee operated on it last week. But he'll see the size of what he.
Really?
It's gonna come
Never had
back.
anything like that, but I don't have to.
Yeah, I think you had gone to a funeral.
How's their
I guarantee.
Good.
They're going to daughter, man. I've seen her.
Thanks.
The daughter of mine, I've taken her, her knees,
We went with
That's the way this
the
young
size
lady
of a
going.
bowling ball.
I think they may have.
Trying to,
And if they
you
did.
can't walk on them, you know, but trying to get her in the car and get her down there.
Well, you're all prepared, aren't you?
Get her down where they can drain it, you know. And both of them, but
That would be so sad.
Richard is a buddy. Down like that, he put her on.
Nice
he put her on
jacket. You're prepared.
You know, a blanket or something,
Yeah.
drag her around the house, like she got her around the house. Hey,
This is rough.
Hey, how are you doing?
watch her, it blows my mind how she does.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't mean to pick this. Where's our presents from?
these are Valentine's from Miss Wiley.
Yeah.
Yeah, she brought those in for you.
They're nice.
Yeah, she's always so thoughtful.
She's always so sweet.
She loves to give.
I told her and Laura when they retire they should be party planners.
Yes. That would be great.
Something wrong with the chair. You.
How you doing?
So I can see the video.
I started to go take it in there, but I never did.
Hey girl, how you doing? I'm good.
She loves it. She
Maria, how
loves
are
to
you?
give.
I'm good. Man, I'm pretty full. I mean,
Don't expect this every
there
time.
is something.
That's Miss Wiley. That's her Valentine's.
Aw.
She loves,
Wow.
she loves the holidays and she loves to buy gifts.
Oh, it's afternoon. Y'all don't even believe this. Most days, I don't know what day it is.
Sorry?
Most days, I don't even know what day it is.
That's what my parents say. They think it's Friday every day.
So I just buy
I
her.
said, well, that must be nice.
Yeah, really.
I know, she found a
I see,
time.
when we were little
Yeah, I don't know.
children,
She makes
they
her
made
own money.
pennies.
She never
And it
sleeps.
was just a real thing. It had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I told the girls, I said, we're gonna have to get us some of those pennies, so we can look and see what they is. They did have those. I wore those
Right,
and bought
getting them for
those.
you. That's funny.
I try to tell people, you're much better off when you laugh.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
I
And who do I give this to?
was,
Who do I give this to?
I believe in preventive medicine, so I was up to the doctor about 2 weeks ago. He said, sometimes I forget what I do with my keys. He said, well, Mr. Daniel, to tell you this. He said, we all forget what we do with our keys. He said, but the problem is that you forget what those keys are for.
That's right. I think you even have to, yeah. He saved us $10, huh?
But you know what, Melissa Gilpatrick's was less than mine.
I wonder if when you register, but Rebecca's and mine are the same.
Is that Sunday for?
Actually, it looks like that, what you said, 117.49. But mine,
I'm sorry,
Melinda's and
checking,
Madeleine's
yes.
are 107.49, it's exactly $10, but I'm sure ours was too.
I got you, I'm with you now, keep
Yes,
going,
That's what
keep going.
Melissa's was, just whenever you check in
Interesting.
here. And she registered first, she was like the first bird, early bird is hers.
Maybe there was an early
This
bird.
is just the taxes, that's actually, all right. That's just your tentative schedule, they send these out.
Weird.
Just bring back.
Well, I mean, the fact that it went from
And
$80
you check out the seat on the hotel.
and you're gonna drive or ride? Do you know?
I hope I go with somebody.
Okay.
I hope somebody's gonna be nice and invite me.
If you drive, let me know. We'll pay you.
I'm not driving, I'll stay home.
After a year, country
You'll
boy
get there
like you,
somehow, huh?
All right, you know, I changed my mind a minute ago, I might have somebody go with me.
I'd look, man, I'd
I
go.
might do that.
I'm
going to the
Just let me
early
know.
class on Sunday,
Probably
really
not bad.
early. I want to get that new class, I think that class we need to. So we're
What
gonna
time
leave
are
early.
This is where y'all staying.
I don't know. I think
you need
it. 9:30, so as long as we can get there
Well,
early.
Straight to my grandparents lived on,
Be okay at
Go
9:30,
down there.
straight sign in the hotel.
you can't go down there in the daytime.
Yeah.
now.
Have to wait till
Well,
after.
that's
Huh?
So we'll wait till after the class and then sign in, I guess.
Yeah. And they're not gonna intimidate her.
Yeah.
What is your telephone number, so I can call you?
I give it to you, but let me make sure I give you.
That's okay, don't worry about it, I called the bank, I'll talk to you at work. Well, I may need it.
I don't understand how somebody can shoot somebody and not gonna think nothing about it. Blows my mind.
I got it.
I guess I'll pay for
To be honest, I still not go to the lotto on this side.
I don't know, I need to look at my bill next time it comes in.
See, you get the right one now.
That's for sure. I used to go with my grandparents, my granddad. lived down there.
It's nice because it populates right.
205.
Of course, I grew up in Memphis.
Thank you.
Baseball when I was a kid, when we were 10.
Oh, I'll be fine.
He paid me to baseball when I was over. I 10 years old. We got to stay with him and work his hours in the weekend. They were 12 hours a day and
Like that.
I'll say that. I work in
work.
I don't have
That's how we got it.
I don't know how far to go from there.
And we used to run all over.
Yeah, he mentioned sugar. Yeah.
I said, you
They was
know,
I know, it was so
there's
much
no difference.
Pretty
But it's still not my language, so I.
You might complain about
And my cousins lived down at Cedar Grove. Cedar Grove out there, and my cousins lived down there. They were like,
Randall's out there.
Starts flags and then varsity.
Yeah, we're doing very
I had quit at one time.
I told my brother
I'll check and see.
Where's his state trooper for? Where's he working?
He's getting ready to retire for the.
Yeah.
They live here?
Drilling ball, you lose it, and you roll half the court, and you run down again, pick it up, and then go to the last. That's not legal.
Try to be competitive.
Just like the wall.
Yeah, that, I can understand that a little bit more, except they didn't come explain.
Come explain.
while I'm thinking about it, they called me from the police sheriff's office today, and Dale Kyle's retired. And I told them that I was mentioning that to y'all. They're taking some donations for him, a gift card. And So probably need to
His
be
wife
better do
and I,
individual.
Miss Diane, end up being something just like that.
Yeah.
You talking about a beautiful person.
March 1 though, March 1.
I saw it in the paper, it was in the Watchman, in the
So
back.
if you want to go to the police jury office and give it to, you
Well, he's
know,
gonna retire.
Very well.
Huh?
He's gonna retire, right?
Yeah, March 1. So next couple of weeks.
So, does that mean you'll go ahead and take his place on the water board?
That means you get to be over the whole thing.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Well, he's just retiring from his job, he didn't say
Oh,
the
he
water
said-
board.
That's right, he's still on the water.
No, he said, she said he's gonna retire from it all.
Oh, did she?
Mm.
He might then.
He said that now.
That means you bump right on up into that.
I got everything there.
I don't think
I had to check the computer, make sure nobody-
I don't think that's what I need to do.
Yeah, you do.
See how that new well works out for a while. See how- Have they got that online yet?
We don't have electricity.
No,
That's right, they haven't got no electricity.
it ain't never been good.
Oh, it was horrible.
They got a new
They
burn
got a lot of
going on.
faith in that
Got a
new
new
well
water
they're putting
The water
down.
sure is clear.
It's because we're on a chloride burn.
Yeah, they got a heck of a burn going on.
All right, 6 o'clock.
That's why I don't drink water anymore.
All right, call up our school board meeting, come to order. Mr. Smith, would you lead us in prayer? Maria, would you lead us in the pledge?
Dear Heavenly Father, we truly thank you for this afternoon, and Lord, give us the insight and ability to do what is correct and proper for this system, Lord. Lord, we just thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon this system, Lord. Look upon this members, Lord, creating us all the right heart and the right concept, Lord. These blessings we ask in your Son, Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we got roll call.
All right, roll call. Randy Rance.
Here.
Judith Ann McKee.
Here.
Melinda Ballard. Here. Barry Glass.
Here.
Maria Bass.
Here.
Gary Castles.
Here.
James King.
Here.
All right. Item A is executive committee report. Randy?
Everything looked real good. Everything seemed to be in order. Didn't see anything that was crazy going on. But sales taxes were up in December for 23%. So keep on.
Right on.
That's right.
Do we need to approve that? I think that was over that. All right. Item B is approved minutes from the January 14th, 2020 board meeting. Everybody,
I motion that we approve the minutes from our January board meeting.
I've got a motion, got a
I'll
second.
second.
Item C is approved exchange of property with Fontenot's Cajun Way.
All right, David's got all the information, and so we'll let him kind of explain what's in your folder.
Yeah, you
And
should have it in your folder.
Yep. What we're doing tonight is trying to looking at this piece of paper that's not, I think Randy has it. Anyway, it kind of describes what we're doing tonight. The school board has to issue a declaration that the surplus property and the property lines are on the 8.5 by 14. And it's highlighted on the front page what we're giving up and what we're getting in return. And the purpose, of course, is Fontenot's is wanting to put in a drive-through. And of course, that will increase sales, which is good for the school board. And we're giving up a piece of property that, you know, I mean, the property that we have over there is not ever going to be used by us in one way or the other. So all that we have to make sure that we do is, according to our attorney, is make a declaration of surplus property. And that would be up to 0.058 acres that runs next to his building. And then we'd have to state the public purpose of the transaction. Again, we'd go with the sales tax increase. And the appraised value is coming back in our favor. As long as it's as long as it's zero or in our favor, we're okay to proceed with the transaction, and then the transfer will be done by his attorney. None of the costs have been borne by the school board, of course, and it's all been borne by him. And I think that's it.
Anybody got any questions?
Did they say how they're gonna do that back? Is it just gonna have like a window back there, then people are gonna circle and come back up the same drive? Did they say anything about that?
I think it's on the side, isn't it?
Yeah, he's gonna loop around the building.
Okay, so he's gonna
I
come around
believe.
like this. Okay.
But where's the window gonna be? Is it gonna be
It's
on
gonna
the
be on the
side?
side.
Yeah.
That he's acquiring.
Right toward the school.
Yeah.
Right.
Do we need to make a motion?
Yes. Yep. What does it need to say?
Yeah, that's what I was
What's
gonna
it
ask.
need to say?
I make a motion that we accept the exchange of property.
Hey, Nick,
With
Yes.
probably
fund
roll
those-
call there.
Roll call? Okay.
Yeah,
You got to issue a declaration of surplus property. That's the first thing you gotta
Okay.
do. And then the second thing is state the public purpose, which that's on the second page.
Change your motion, Randy.
I think that would
Randy.
do it.
So the three things, we need to declare it as surplus property, and then state the public purpose, and then approve the transfer?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you
All right, those are
you
the
need
first.
three motions there.
So we need to make a I'd like to make a motion that we declare this 20-foot by 254.74 foot as surveyed with plat for Fontenot's Cajun Way in January 28th, 2021, declare this piece of property as surplus property.
I second it.
Jennifer, second. And roll call?
All right. For the declaration of surplus property, Randy Rantz motion, Jennifer McKee second, roll call, Randy Rantz. Ms. McKee,
Yes.
Ms. Fowler.
Yes.
Mr. Glass is zoomed, Ms. Bass.
Yes.
Mr. Castle.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes, yes.
All right, that's for the surplus. Then the next one will be state and public purpose.
So I'll make a motion that we do it, but I'm not gonna try to word it.
I think the wording is on the second page.
Okay.
That's sufficient.
we got a second.
A
I'll
second.
say.
All right, hang on 1 second. All right, so for public purpose, roll call, Mr. Rentz, Ms. McKee,
Yes.
Ms. Fowler.
Yes.
Darren Zoom, Ms. Bass,
Mhm.
Mr. Castle,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Okay? 2 out of 3.
Now, need a motion to transfer the property.
I make that motion.
Second.
All right.
Okay, 1 second.
Papers.
All right, roll call for that. Mr. Rentz,
Yes.
Ms. McKee,
Yes.
Ms. Fowler,
Yes.
Mr. Glass is zoomed, Ms. Bass.
Yes.
Mr. Castle.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
All right, David.
All right?
I think it.
Good.
You can stay standing
You
up.
wanna, yeah, your name?
I know.
Wow.
I was surprised. So, Judy, I was looking at page 6, which has, the estimated fair value of 1 acre of land is 50,000. So, I was surprised.
I want property.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, Howard.
65.
But it's not enough to do anything with.
No, it's
There's
not.
not, so,
All right, item D is a financial update.
okay. Really, it was kind of one of the easier ones to give, general funds, looking as, decent as it can. The items that I have, the text I haven't read, the state has given us the MFP numbers for the mid-year adjustment, and it was a $583,000 decrease for Caldwell. I mean, it was red all over the state. I think there was 6 or 7 parishes that had increases. Calcasieu, Lake Charles had $12 million decrease. So we feel pretty good with 600,000 relatively. And the other thing that we're kind of unsure of is the minimum wage, whether that's going to change or not. If it does change, that's going to impact us about $360,000. So at whatever point that comes into play. The $583,000 MFP money, 5/12 of that will be in the current year and 7/12 will be in the new year. So we don't have to worry about all of it in the current year, but there's really not a lot we can do in the current year. I mean, we're already locked in on salaries, and we already committed on so much of what's already been budgeted, so there's not really that we're going to be able to make any budget cuts. Sales tax, we already talked about that. Lunch fund is doing fine, and maintenance fund is also, the maintenance fund is probably the most boring that we want to talk about. So it's got its property tax money for the year, and we got one more month of that coming in, and that's about it.
Thank you. Anybody got a question? No. All right, item F is district leaders update.
Head Start first.
Oh, did I skip it? Yeah, I did. Head Start update, Monica.
Not a lot really to update there. Enrollment's about the same, 46 kids. We were just talking about enrollment. We're fixing to start kicking off for the 21-22 school year already, so we'll see kind of how that fares. We've had a lot of calls interested, pre-K and Head Start, so hopefully things will pick up next year. So that's our goal anyway.
All right, thank you. Item F is district leaders update.
And start lowered up. Go ahead, Monica.
Not really, kind of said in the enrollment, we're starting off, we're gonna start, our coalition meetings for our Ready Start network, here soon. So, and that coalition has to also have a governing board. It strictly makes decisions for that, for the early childhood network. Which is kind of odd being under the school board. It's kind of like that policy council for Head Start. I guess just kind of, it helps to pick a direction because you're talking about having community members. So some of these community members could have access or something to monies or whatever. And so if they chose to go after something for that, to try to bring in money for our early childhood programs for the parish, they could. Now, not necessarily our 3- and 4-year-old programs, but looking at like daycares and things like that. There's a couple of church leaders on there. So if a business partner wanted to partner with one of our church members to maybe do a daycare, something like that. So as far as the school board, we wouldn't have any liability, any interest or anything in that, but it's just part of that network that we're part of with that birth to 3 or birth to 5 that they brought us into. So as it moves along, we'll let y'all know, keep you updated. It's not really something that reports to the board, but they said it was good to have a good rapport with the board. So that's what I told them, that just like we do now, we report to you, so it'll be easy as that goes along to keep you updated into what they're looking at and possibly what's going on. Because we were just talking about that today, a couple of daycares. One, the lady that keeps the kids said, hey, I can't be there till 9 today. Well, you've got all these working families. And of course, it's a family daycare home, so she only keeps 7 kids. But they had to figure something out till 9 o'clock. Then another one was off a day this week. But so we know of 3 family daycare homes, so that's 21 kids. So other than those 21 kids, where are all the infant to 3-year-olds? At, it's a lot of kids out there. And I realize some of our parents work in Monroe and they may take them to Monroe. But other than that, there's a lot of kids and there's a lot of families looking for somewhere to take their kids. So, if we can help put some people together that could create a partnership that could do something like that in our community, it would really benefit our families a lot. So that would, of course, be our goal, to move towards something like that. And we did also in Super App, we haven't submitted it yet, have we?
It's ready to go.
It's
I
ready
just
to
gotta
go.
click the button.
We did apply for 17 seats for 3-year-olds that would be at our Kelly school, but they wouldn't be Head Start. They would be, it's PDG, it's just through the Kellogg Foundation. Those kids would qualify at the same rate they qualify for our pre-K program. So it would up that over income number that was there, and possibly that waiting list we have that's all the ways with that, it would help eliminate that. So we're not sure how we can actually work that in with our Head Start if we got them. My hope would be that you could divide that out between the classrooms. If not, you're gonna have a whole classroom over here of kids that are over income. And you don't want that, because that's not, but if we could divide them up between the classrooms, of course, that would be what we would want to do. So we hope we can get that. Well, when do we know on Super, like June, May or June?
Didn't they say, is it competitive?
Yeah.
They're supposed to release that in April.
Okay, well, so we'll know in a couple of months whether we got it, we can get it figured out.
Good deal. Good deal. All right, thanks, Monica. Sandra, got anything?
David did say the budget is good, and it's very good. So we're doing well there. As a matter of fact, general fund had to kind of give me a little extra at the beginning of the year, more than normal. And he has taken it back, so general fund has that money back. So he took it from me, but we're doing really well. And I had mentioned in a previous meeting about a grant that I had applied for, and we did get it, and that was $30,000. And that is just to offset cost of the to-goes and the paper products that we're having to buy so much more of, because still a lot of the kids are taking food out. So that will help with that. So financially, we're good. We're trying to get back a little normal. Of course, it's not near where we would like to be, but we're working on some things, and all the kids are actually getting to go through the line and do their own number and stuff like that. But and some are getting to eat in the cafeteria, so that's good. So anyway, it's going well.
Thank you.
Kim? I have mine and Mr. Simmons' updates tonight, so I'm not even going to pretend to be as
Entertaining.
yeah, that's a good word. But I'll start with elementary and high school too. We have every 2 weeks we have leadership team meetings at our schools, and Ms. Meredith and either myself or Mr. Simmons and the principal, the assistant principal, or instructional coach, whatever their team may be, and our Title I coordinator, Rob Nex. And this go around, we had the student and teacher climate surveys that were given, and it was 5th grade up for student, and then all of your employees. And so we analyzed those as a team, and then in our district leadership meetings, we went over the results with the principals and their team, and our top concerns. Of course, the positives, but we also wanted to address concerns across the board in the district. We found that social emotional issues, character education issues, students not being comfortable in dealing with anger and things like that. So we are addressing that. We came up with an action plan at each school to address, and including our social worker. I'm stepping into your lane now, but and we're looking into things to help them address the social emotional things that came up on that survey. Do you have a question? Oh, I saw your hand up.
He's thinking.
So we are doing that, and really what we have figured out within the last week is all the work we're doing with our book study and Brian Mendler. It all goes together, and so it's actually a perfect mesh in everything that we're doing. We do have one huge concern in the elementary, our virtual kids and their grades. I know Ms. Gillette and Donnie are working hard trying to beat down doors, and your kids are failing, why aren't they logging on and things, but sometimes it's hard to figure out where people are and why they're not logging in, and our virtual kids, for the most part, are failing. And
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Okay, I had Kaylee run a report and I left it in my office. But I'm gonna interject real quick because I looked at the data. At the elementary level, we may have 2 or 3 per school.
It's
One,
the high school.
It's
yeah.
the junior high, I believe, has 7, but the high school has 33
Yeah.
virtual kids who are not. I went to they had below a 2.0, so it could have been a 1.4 or so below. And so we're trying to work on course recovery at the high school.
Yes.
But the problem is our virtual kids that are failing are not even logging into classes. And so, like she said, Ms. Gillette and Donnie have made visits, and we've tried to encourage them to do that. I will say today that Clay Corley in DeSoto Parish issued on their Facebook that they were going to discontinue the virtual option for kids who are failing. So if they were failing, they would not allow them to continue doing the virtual work. They would require them to come back to school. And I thought that was very bold, because I had not even thought about that fact. We do have a lot of virtual kids who are doing well. As I went through that list, I was pleasantly surprised that there are some kids who are doing, but then there are some who they have a 0.0 grade point average.
Well,
So-
and like, we have, one family that has multiple grade spans in it that we were discussing this week, and we're like, what can we do? Because we know that they're already weak. Your virtual elementary kids, for the most part, you're not gonna leave an elementary kid at home to do, so they have an adult there helping them for the most part. But your junior high school, they can stay at home by themselves. So if you're not self-motivated with a self-directed kid, then in junior high and high school, which is rare, you're not going to do, your best or your potential. I know we have concerns about special education or students who are below level and trying to meet their needs and recover learning, but
You're just trying to lose these kids.
Yeah.
We just don't want them to fall through the cracks. And so, we were talking about today, and when I walked in, actually Christy Wells is the one who saw it, and she said, "Did you see Clay Corley's post?" And I said, "No," and so I looked and I was like, I never even thought about that. I said, but maybe we can bring it up and just kind of get some feedback on what y'all thought.
Yeah, and that was Mr. Simmons's, what he wanted me to bring up too, was the course recovery program is up and going. And for the in-person kids, that's going well for the kids who are in person. It's just the virtual kids, how to reach them.
If we can't get them to log in during their regular classes, we can't get them to log in for the Mondays and Tuesday and Thursday afternoons to help recover
Well,
either.
if they got a .000, they've basically dropped out of school.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean,
whatever-
you have to be
what are our
doing
options?
nothing. Well, and we've kind of felt helpless until now. And then when she commented on that post, I thought, okay, so maybe if we could not allow them to do the virtual, require them to come back to school, then we would have some teeth with truancy. Because if you don't come to school, then you become truant. So at least if we could get them in our buildings, then we could try to recover some of that learning.
What percent of children are you, students are you talking about at the high school?
Well, I did not
Is
do
it a bunch?
I did not do a percentage, but I counted. I went through and highlighted all the virtual. She ran me a report by the codes, and it's in my office. I can't believe I forgot it. But
Let me grab.
you can, yeah, it's highlighted. But at the high school, there were 33 who had below a 2.0. So it was like a 1.9 to a 0.0.
That's too many.
So 33 out of 400. What did Ross say?
480?
Four-
maybe?
yeah.
480, is it 480 or 485?
435. Is that what it is?
That's the total number.
That's the total
And-
number.
and
Yeah.
That's in high school.
If those kids are virtual
Mhm.
and they're not participating, why are they not being referred for truancy?
That's right.
Because there's no attendance, there's no teeth in the.
And the reason why I'm asking, I just texted, I talked with Donna yesterday on the referral, that we had gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm seeing, personally myself, about 10 kids on a daily basis
Mm-hmm.
that, should be in school, and I'm seeing them with, beer cans, smoking right in front of me.
Mhm.
And, I don't say anything to them, but, I'll talk to you about it.
Okay,
more
great.
detail.
I'd
If
say
we
so,
can
find out
get them,
the
we'll bring them to court, because just because they're virtual, that doesn't
Absolutely.
exclude them from being, in class, but I'll get with you on that.
Okay, perfect. That would be great. Thanks,
Okay.
Baron. Yeah. So you figured a percentage, Kim?
Oh, no, I didn't.
It was 32. So 32 of the, if it's 435, do you know how many kids at the high school?
It's a little over 400.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know an exact number.
Mhm. Mhm. It's too many. It's too
It's
many
way
kids.
too many.
Mhm.
No,
it's over 25.
Even if the percentage is low, it's still, I mean, like you said, it's still too many.
It's 30, it's too many kids. You know, one kid's too many.
And like Brother Glass said, until we put some teeth on it.
Yes, yes,
And granted, hey, these are kids.
yes, yes.
You know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's our job to educate them so that they can be productive citizens, but if you can't even engage them in your lessons, and you can't engage them in school, how are we gonna do that?
But you can't engage with law enforcement.
Right, you're right, you're right, you're right. You're gonna engage them one way or the other.
If they're not logging in, it's just like not coming to school.
Exactly.
I agree with Barry on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Darren,
Yeah.
let's get together.
Yeah, also, we just referred, some information to the Supreme Court on that, to give, us more teeth, to deal with these situations, because just telling a parent that something's gonna happen and nothing happens, that negates the fact.
I agree.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think, Office of Family Support, they're in the process of referring, truants, cases where those that are in the system. So, but yeah, we'll get together, we need to, put some kind of policy together,
Yeah,
that mandates, they gotta be in school.
absolutely, absolutely. So if we were to say that if you're a virtual student and you're failing, would y'all have any problem with us saying you are not allowed to do virtual anymore? You have to
Oh,
come back?
They need to go where they
Yeah.
have somebody supervising them.
Yeah.
Has their parent ever been carried to court for truancy in this parish?
It's, Baron, can you talk about that?
What was the
She
question?
said, has there ever been a parent carried to court for truancy in this parish?
Oh, yeah, we've actually put, some in jail, for the weekend. But Nick, if Melinda and, whoever else is on that, committee, if they wanna meet one day next week, we can get together, with you, if we need to put something there as far as policy to make that, take place. I'm seeing too many,
Yes.
in an uneducated, population. It's only gonna get worse because, mental health is on top of that, with all this other stuff. And I'm telling you, I see these kids every day, they have no respect, and it's just, I can't understand, why a parent wouldn't want their kid to be in school. Especially knowing the importance of just a decent education, even
Right.
if it's a GED or,
Right.
youth challenge program, they're just walking the streets too much.
I agree. Okay, well, we'll get together on that, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, thanks, Kim. All right, Rebecca?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna sort of piggyback off of what Kim said. We've been probably boring you guys to death all year talking about all these things that we're doing, like the book study and
No.
Dr. Mendler.
Good job.
And, you get to a point where you think, well, how are we gonna know if this is even doing us any good? Our teachers are logging on once a month, on their Monday time to do some of this. We're asking them to do extra work, but one thing that we typically have to do around this time of year is we have to start looking at discipline numbers and, kind of see where we are. What about these kids that are the ones that are always in the office, the ones that are, sort of always disrupting class? And I will say we've started that this week. We haven't been through with every school, but discipline is way down this year, right now, from where it usually is. And I know, obviously lower enrollment probably has an impact on this, but I just want to give a shout out to some of our school administrators and some of the work that they're doing, things that I haven't necessarily seen in the past. Like I'm just going to say Corey Emerson's name. He's at the high school now. He's the assistant principal. If you don't know him, go meet him. We had very few kids at the high school that were sort of on that chronic offender list compared to what we have in the past. And the first kid whose name I said, not only did Mr. Emerson know all about the kid, he said, I've gotten this kid hooked up with Jimmy Sampson and he's doing this in sports. He really likes this one particular teacher. And Casey Massel's doing this with him. And I was just blown away at, not just there, but at the other schools we went to, that how much effort our administrators are putting into building these relationships with these kids that are struggling, and not just them, but pulling in faculty members, getting them involved in these extracurricular programs that we know help kids be successful in school. So in a lot of these meetings, I just kind of sat back and said,
good job, you know? You keep doing what you're doing, because normally I have to say, okay, what else can we do for this kid? What else, you know, and our administrators have taken some of these ideas that we've given them and just run with them in ways that you guys can't imagine. If I could talk more freely about it, you would be so blown away at the things that they're doing just for individual students to try to keep them engaged in school. So, I mean, it's just so awesome to see that kind of stuff happening, and to see people take things that you give them and actually do great things with them is just the best, so.
Well, I'm an old dog. My first principal said something. I can't repeat the way he said it. If you got him now and don't do nothing for him, what the hell you think gonna happen when you don't have it? I'm serious about that. When a kid came in my class, I controlled that classroom and loved every one of them to death. If we don't show these kids discipline, they're gonna run over us. And then you're gonna see them breaking in your house, ripping some of your kids, I'm being honest.
Well, a lot of the work that we're doing, to that point, Mr. King, it started in October with when we had our PD finally, we were able to do it in person. We had Brian Mendler come and speak. We also had Dr. Amy Weems from ULM, and she presented on how to reroute the cradle to prison pipeline. And so a lot of it was in talking with teachers about, you know which kids are headed down that road. What can we do to intervene to keep them from making those decisions? And so it's beautiful to see all of this kind of come together and know that the discipline referral rate definitely impacts what's going to happen later on with the prison. And so to see that go down is very, you know, it feels rewarding. It feels like, okay, maybe what we're doing is working. So,
Ray Bozeman used to bring the inmates in. Bring the faculty and the students to the auditorium. And it wasn't nothing nice. Kid want after food, that inmate got up and said, look here, you so-and-so and so-and-so. If you was in jail, we know what we'll do to you. And see, that's gonna get somebody's attention. See, these kids got too much freedom.
which goes to the point that Baron was saying. We've got to get them off the streets and we've got to get them in school and get them involved and get them engaged.
See, if you don't see, you may not see these kids, but let me tell you, they out there. I did something that I swore to God I wouldn't do. I done armed myself again. And I swore I would never do that again.
Wow.
But you have no choice. What I'm saying is, like Brother Glass said, and what you were saying, you got to show these kids, it comes down to, you got to show them love plus discipline. Because if you don't show them no love, you will see them again.
You will. You will. Good point.
We got a good system here.
We do. We do. We just got to get them. We got to get them to school.
You got some board members that been here. They know what to do, how to do it.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you, that's.
Merrick, do you have anything to add? I forgot her last time, so make sure I don't forget it this time. And she may or may not. Okay.
I do. I have a little bit.
Okay, good deal.
Okay, one thing that I don't know if our board is aware of, that we are previewing and having some demonstrations of interactive touch panels that we are reviewing to potentially replace our 12-year-old Promethean boards with some new equipment for our classrooms, and our teachers are so excited about that. I know they are, and we are too. So we're looking at 4 vendors, and we had visits from them to show us how these work and let some teachers interact with them for this coming week, but because of the weather, we have pushed those back to next week, and I've rearranged for those different boards to be previewed, and that would be some of this ESSER money, ESSER 2, right? You're looking at spending to upgrade our classrooms, because that's been 12 years that we put those Promethean boards in, and we need to bring things to the current times, you know.
Absolutely.
Also, at the same time, we are in the middle of the E-rate season, so we are looking at a new internet provider potentially. We have multiple vendors who are coming and visiting our school sites to provide new internet connectivity for us, potentially, or upgrade what we have, and also increase the bandwidth. And we have 5 vendors that have responded to our request for bids, and we've arranged some site visits for 4 of those 5 for week after next, after the potential bad weather. And last thing is, the state had a chunk of money that was given to Department of Ed to provide some additional devices for all the districts, and we were allotted 49 Chromebooks for our K through 8 students. We went to Baton Rouge and picked those up, and we will be distributing those to our schools in the next week to 2 weeks, based on numbers of devices they need, and enrollment, and et cetera. So those are some positives on the technology side that I just wanted to share.
Thank you, Merritt.
Thank you.
All right,
Is that it?
that's it.
All right, item G is the superintendent's report.
All right, so I gave y'all, in your folder, just kind of a recap. I'm not gonna read the whole thing to you, but, for those of you who were, on the board whenever y'all interviewed and hired me, today is the 1-year anniversary of that. And so, I gave you my action plan whenever I interviewed, of those steps. And so I just, am very goal oriented. So I wanted to see what we had accomplished as a team, in this year, even though we had COVID. And I was really, once I started putting the bullet points to it, I thought, oh, we've really done a lot, even in spite of COVID. So just the action plan goes along with the needs assessment that I told you I wanted to, visit the schools and find out what their needs were. And as far as facilities, curriculum, culture, and support and retention of teachers. And so the bullet points are actually the things that we were able to, either I myself or the team together were able to do. And then kind of my next steps on the right-hand side. And then as far as athletics and extracurricular groups, what our goals were and what we were able to accomplish. As far as leadership and administration, the things that we've done, like setting up those district meetings, and now we're doing a book study, trying to get everybody on the same ship. It's a pirate, it's called Lead Like a Pirate, so it's like we're all getting on the same ship and moving in the same direction. Technology, the things that we were able to do to address technology, the business department, as far as like hiring the business manager and the payroll clerk, and then the SPED department, talking about budget, and then public relations. So I just wanted you to see kind of, what I said I wanted to do and what we wanted to accomplish and what we have been able to accomplish, and then what our next steps are moving forward. And for the moving forward, you'll see a lot of that is either continue or to write a district strategic plan. And that's something that we have not written a district strategic plan since Ms. Tillett was here. And that's something that I had never done until she came, and we learned a lot through that process, and I wanted to get back to that. And then this fall, when I was at the superintendent's conference, that was one of the big things that people were talking about. So I started kind of researching other districts and what their district strategic plans looked like, and it was like, okay, I want to do this, but I'm not sure how to make it happen. And then, I know it's a God thing, but we were approached by the State Department to pilot a systems relation project that, as I got to reading, I thought, this is a district strategic plan. So we actually met, I had Randy come in and meet with us yesterday, because I have to have a board member who was on that team, and Gary works, and so I had to move from president to vice president and got Randy to come join me. But all of you will be a part of this. We just have to, we're partnering with the state, and they're going to partner us with a vendor who is going to help keep us moving in the right direction. So all of you will be asked to serve on different committees. We'll have community members, we'll have teachers and parents and students, so that I just think it's very important that we get buy-in from everybody in our community and we find out, it's like I told the principals whenever we did the culture surveys, we may think we know what is going on and we think this is what's happening, but until we start asking people for their input, we don't really know. And so we were able to learn a lot through those surveys, and that's just another project. But the district strategic plan would ultimately be a plan that's a 3 to 5 year plan of where do we as a district want to move in all of the different areas of the school system. So I'm very excited about that and moving forward. Our timeline's going to be tight in getting that together, but we'll keep you informed on that. That is that, and then let's see. Vaccines, we are, I sent everybody out that survey. It's kind of a first come, first serve. I just need to have a list ready. We are going to partner with Caldwell Drug is registered to give the vaccine. And so as soon as the governor releases tier 2, then we have a sign-up list that everybody has. So far, we have 102 employees signed up, which is only 29% of our total, so it's a little lower than I had hoped it would be. A lot of the other districts are closer to 50%, but I guess people are just waiting. But we do have 102 people signed up, so as soon as he gives the go-ahead, I will order those vaccines. They'll go to Caldwell Drug, and then Caldwell Drug will be the ones who actually administer those. And then the last thing is weather. We've been watching that, and of course, you know, last week, today, it was supposed to snow, and then it went away, so it's Louisiana, we never know really what's going to happen. Next week, it looks like it's going to be Monday, and then on into Tuesday. Have a little bit of break on Wednesday, and then back again on Thursday, so we're just not sure what's going to happen. So we hopped on a Google Hangout with the principals today, and just to kind of get their feel, and so what we're encouraging them to do is go ahead and send home their kids with their Chromebooks on Friday. And if they have any, you know, novels that they have or works, so that in the event that we do have to call off school, we'll just make it a virtual day. And so we won't have to take a day. Everybody will just work from home. And if they have internet connectivity, great. If they don't, they're not going to be penalized for it. But at least it would kind of help keep us along, because we don't know. I mean, it could be 1 day, it could be 2 days, it could be no days. And so I don't want to incite panic with all that. We'll just say we'll just send them home with that, and we'll play it by ear for next week. So that's kind of the plan for weather, if that work for y'all.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. Good deal. All right, that's all I have.
Oh, on your thing here where we, on the athletics, and we formed all these teams.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what page was that?
That was, I think it's the second page.
Yeah.
I fully expect that athletic director to come back at some point and tell us how all these teams
Are
have
doing.
done and how they responded and blah, blah, blah.
I will ask her too, but I will jump in and just tell you right now that of course, golf is not set up, has not gotten started yet, but the junior high baseball team, from what I hear, is going to be a really good little team. He actually has 2. He had enough boys to try out that he kind of has an A team, B team, and they're for the most part playing in a league in Sterlington, but they do have a couple of home games, and so I believe that Ms. Hillstead posted that schedule on our Facebook, so I'm gonna try to make it to those home games. Our bass fishing team is they have a page, and so they kind of keep us updated, and several weekends they're out there fishing, and they're representing Caldwell. And
what they do with the fish?
They were supposed to fish this weekend, but I think the weather's got them this weekend.
But they're white.
They
Some of
are.
them are, that's fishing in the.
Yeah, last weekend looked like it was freezing cold, and they were out there. But it was on Caney last week, I believe. So it's brought in a group of kids that may or may not participate in any other athletics. And then powerlifting, I've been talking with Coach Sampson and Miss McElroy, and they're just super excited and have sent me some videos of their kids and their competition. And Coach Sampson said, not only are they doing good now, I'm excited about where this is going.
Yeah.
And there are athletes on that, and then there are people who have never done any kind of athletic competition before
Good.
participating. So super excited about that.
Well, I still expect that athletic director.
Okay. Well, she's at the basketball game tonight because our
Well, when
boys
she
are
gets a
playing.
minute, I fully expect
I'll tell her you
to
should
get
have
all the
requested.
dolls up. Come on down here, give her, tell her what's going on.
I will tell her that her presence has been requested.
All right, do we have any more board comments? We already started that.
Well, can we look at Grayson Elementary for their pickup? Apparently with the mud and everything, they don't have enough gravel or blacktop.
Okay.
And when they have the pickup, everybody's having to slush through the mud to get to the cars.
Oh, goodness.
So, I mean, just somebody take a look and see if we can do
Absolutely.
something.
I think Jeff has already taken a look at it, because I talked
Has
to him
he?
about it too.
Okay.
And it's just been so wet that they haven't
They
been able to
can't
do
do
anything.
anything, okay.
He was trying to explain something to
I
me
told
about
him.
getting to the, I told him to call you, getting to the gravel pit in this and getting it out there,
Yeah.
so.
They just hadn't been able to do it because of the weather.
Mhm.
He
Oh, I
knows about,
believe
he
it.
knows about it though.
Okay, good.
But
I
I'll
had
tell him that
somebody
it was
comment to
mentioned
me
to
too.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Well, I don't think anybody's really complaining, it's just nasty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And rough, I think, holes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anybody else? Anybody make a move to
Make a
adjourn?
motion, we adjourn.
Good deal. Let's go to the basketball game.
Yeah, hold on.